By 1939, events in faraway countries had begun to find their resonance in India. The Second World War had broken out, and the Indian National Congress leaders were in full sympathy with the victims of the fascist forces. But an enslaved nation could not be drawn into the war. They demanded that India must first be declared free. On the 8th of August 1942, in a historic Congress session, Gandhi told the delegates, "Do or die," and told the British, "Quit India." Once again, the British struck back ruthlessly. The entire Congress leadership, including Gandhi, was arrested, and they were to remain imprisoned for the next 3 years. But the fight was now carried forward in the streets and in the hearts of the average Indian. The freedom struggle had by now created a dominant feeling of oneness, a unity in its diversity. And the entire country, even with its 7 major religions and what would eventually become 18 official languages, was looking to the end of colonial rule with a sense of urgency. The story of India's freedom was also of heroes and heroines, many of whom through their personal sacrifices were to achieve greatness. If Nehru, Patel and Azad were disciples of Gandhi, there were others who were equally convinced that the British could only be defeated through an armed struggle. 15th of January 1941. A person in the garb of a Muslim priest gets into a car from a house in Elgin Road in Calcutta and drives towards Bihar. In Bihar, this gentleman gets into the Kalka mail train headed for Delhi. 10 days later, a Pathan named Ziauddin is sighted traveling in a truck from Peshawar to Kabul. A few days later, an impeccably dressed Italian, Orlando Mezzotta, travels from Kabul to Berlin via Moscow. 3 faces of one man, a man called Subhash Chandra Bose. By now, some of those fighting for freedom had opened up a front in Singapore. The band of fighters was called the Indian National Army. On the 5th of July 1943, Subhash Chandra Bose took over as the Supreme Commander of the INA. And in a historic call, he told his supporters, "Give me your blood, and I will give you freedom." His slogan was "Dilli Chalo," onwards to Delhi. This slogan kept reverberating till 1945, when the Second World War came to an end. By June 1947, through the India Independence Bill, the Labour government in England had agreed to relinquish power on the basis of dominion status to both India and Pakistan. The horrors of communal carnage and the bloodbath which may have ensued forced the Indian nationalist leaders to reluctantly accept the partition of India. But till the very end, Gandhi argued against this division of the subcontinent. Independent India was born on the midnight of 14th August 1957, but only after another nation, Pakistan, justified on religious grounds, had been carved out of its physical configuration. In spite of this, the new architects of the country committed themselves to secular credentials, and this at a time when mass migrations of refugees was taking place across the borders, when the communal killings had spread its despondency in Punjab and Bengal.
Never before in South Asian history did so few divide so many, and from my point of view, so needlessly. So in that sense, partition was a traumatic experience and a tremendous setback to the secular underpinnings of Indian national life. But having said that, I think India emerged quite strongly out of that trauma, because I think the significance of the decision of the Constitutional Assembly to declare India as a democratic secular republic is something that needs to be underlined and stressed.
But the fate of the princely states in the subcontinent still remained one of the contentious, unresolved issues. The Chambers of Princes, which had been brought into being by a royal proclamation on the 8th of February 1921, met in Delhi to deliberate upon the fate of the princely states. 2/5 of the country's physical land was with the 562 states, and those taking over the reins of power were concerned that vested interests would ensure not all of them signed the instrument of accession. VP Menon, who was then an aide to Sardar Patel, wrote, "It almost seemed that the ship of India's freedom would flounder on the rock of the princely states." Sir Cyril Radcliffe's red ink, ruthlessly marked on a map, had carved two countries, India and Pakistan, where once there existed only one subcontinent. But even before the Radcliffe Award had been announced, other forces were at play. And one view, which was encouraged by a section of the British policymakers, was to allow some of the princely states to declare their independence. That with the withdrawal of the British paramountcy, these states should be given two alternatives: to merge into one of the dominions or to declare themselves independent. The fear that haunted the ruling polity was that India would be balkanized. When the Maharaja of Travancore, under the influence of his divan, declared that his state had decided to set up as an independent sovereign state, apprehension arose that other states would adopt a similar attitude and India would be split into fragments.
There had been powerful movements in many of the states against the princes and for integration with India. And these movements had close links with the Congress or with other political movements, like, for example, the Communist Party was quite active in Hyderabad. As we know, there was this agitation also after that. So there had developed from the 1920s on close links between the political processes in the states and in India. So there was an organic link, and it wasn't going to be easy for any prince or British official to actually get the people to agree to remain out.
The Congress session, which met on the 14th of June 1947, saw leaders up in arms. Sardar Patel was put in charge of the newly formed States Ministry, and along with VP Menon, he began personal negotiations with the erstwhile rulers. One by one, he ensured that every princely state signed the instrument of accession. He used all forms of negotiations, cajoling some, convincing some, and persuading still others. By the 14th of August 1947, all the princely states, apart from Junagadh, Hyderabad and Kashmir, had signed the instrument of accession. By this policy of accession, the fundamental unity of India had been ensured, and on the 15th of August 1947, the geographical contours of contemporary and independent India had been more or less established. By the September of 1948, after a brief police action, the ruler of Hyderabad was also ready to welcome Sardar Patel personally in Hyderabad and sign the instrument of accession. A referendum held in Junagadh after the Nawab had fled to Pakistan would also ensure the integration of this state in Western India. In 1948, infiltrators entered the Kashmir Valley, and the Maharaja of Kashmir, after signing the instrument of accession, asked the government of India for help to fight the invaders. India rushed in troops and the invasion was foiled. Later, Sheikh Abdullah, leader of the National Conference and one of the eminent political leaders of Kashmir, speaking to the press, expressed his gratitude to the government of India.
The people of Kashmir have passed through untold miseries during the last 15 months. They consider themselves part and parcel of this great country. They will never forget India and gallant Jawans who have been with them through thick and thin.
The country's freedom struggle had not only overthrown colonial rule, it had also in the process given the nation an identity and a vision of what free India should be like. A secular, democratic republic with universal franchise. Nationalism had blended the concept of freedom with that of equality and justice for all. vision which was later to find expression